Hey, I hope all is well with you. We're gonna have a talk. I actually did a demonstration or unboxing of this OXO coffee dripper, and now it's about a month and a half of actually using it, seeing what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I'm here to tell you there's a lot of things that have happened that I've come to realize of things that I do like about it and things that you may like about it too. It's like a size 2 dripper. Right now I'm using the Pegasus dripper filters and it fits perfectly fine inside of it. If you're in a pinch and you just want to make a lot more coffee, you can use a size 4. And as you can see, it sits above everything. There's a couple interesting things about this dripper. I believe one of the first things that's really interesting about this dripper is that it has a single hole. The hole is very small, and a lot of times what people may think is like, oh wow, this is not good because it's probably like a slow drawdown dripper, which it is. However, I think the benefits of it are more critical or more important, at least to me, and something I do want to share to you is that what it allows you to do is grind as coarse as possible. Is that you'll probably get more so the flavors of the coffee coming through quite a bit compared to using a fast filter, using a dripper that has a bigger hole, whatnot. And I do just love the slow drawdown and the way that the coffees really come alive even more so with this particular dripper. This is actually probably one of my go-to drippers as of right now, even more than a OXO V60 switch, which is kind of weird to say this. That's not the only thing that's cool about this actual dripper. It literally works for everybody inside your house. It works if you're a coffee geek, have your precisions, and you want to actually go a little bit slower. You can use a decently sized filter. You can actually use, this is a April fast filter, and it actually fits perfectly fine in the dripper. So you can use that so it can probably draw down a little bit faster. This right here is another OXO V60 fast filter. And believe it or not, it kind of curls up perfectly inside this dripper. So you can use that too if you want a faster-ish drawdown. If you're not a coffee geek, if you're trying to buy this or use this for a family member, you can. This is what you have. This right here is more of like a drip assist. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has 9 holes. And you simply put it on top. And we're going to be demonstrating that a little bit later. And then you pour the water up top. And then you just wait. You can do a bloom or you don't have to do a bloom. But what I've noticed is that this drip is extremely slow. So even if you wait 30 seconds, it's not going to draw down all the water all at once. Those are some of the drawbacks with using the assist. Also, another drawback with using the drip assist is that the most that you can actually should do is about 25 grams of actual coffee grounds. Because I've tried 30 and it kind of just feels over a little bit too much because, as you can imagine, with 9 holes and you have a filter and coffee draining out of one hole, it's still going to be a lot slower compared to what this is actually doing. So this has a tendency to actually fill up above this area right here. So it can go over depending on how much coffee, or not coffee, I always say that, depending on how much water you actually add into the vessel, okay? This is perfect for a family member, a spouse, a partner, or whatever, or a kid who is not so much into the whole like pour over game or specialty coffee thing. They just want a cup of coffee. They just want a decent cup of coffee. And I remember in a pinch, I set this up because I have to leave early in the morning. And I set this up for my wife. I said, hey, all you have to do is just pour water. I've already set up the grounds already. All you have to do is just pour water. Pour it to the line that you want to. If you want to be accurate, you don't have to. See, they have 180, 240, 300, 360. And then right here, if you're more like an ounce or cup type of person, you have 6 ounces, 8, 10, 12, you know. So pour to the line that you want to, wait a couple of minutes and you're good to go. That's the reason why I think this brewer works really well. Sometimes even when I'm doing like back-to-back recipes and I want it to be more consistent, I'll even use the assist because it keeps it the same. I'm pouring about the exact same water, so everything is kind of happening at the same time. Like I said, there are some drawbacks with this actual assist. Sometimes it's kind of weird just looking at this thing because when you see the water actually dripping, is that it's not really even. It just kind of drips here, doesn't drip here. So it's not as even as you would want it. Here we go. Just pour some water. See? You can actually see a little bit that it's like coming out on one side, and you see two are dripping actually right now. So I would consider that a drawback because it's just kind of weird actually. You would think that if it has holes that it will actually go at the same time. It still drips water. It takes the time that it takes, but it is what it is, right? So just be mindful of that, especially if you're like a coffee geek and you want consistency and you want something to where it does the exact same thing every time. If you want to and you're kind of crazy, which I may do anyway, is that you may get a drill bit, like a small one, and just to drill into these holes a little bit more to kind of give you a little bit faster drawdown, at least at the top. You can't really do that much in the bottom. Probably make this hole a little bit bigger, but I suggest that you don't do that. Use this brewer for what it is, and I think you're going to enjoy your cup of coffee. If you need a bigger hole, use a different brewer. Harry V60 has a big hole. There's other drippers that have a big hole. You can kind of go about it that way if you're trying to get something different out of your cup of coffee. So it didn't take that long. So what I want to do real quick, we're going to put water here. We're going to do it here. And then we're just going to simply see how it does. You see it's starting to drip eventually. And then you see it's dripping at the bottom. And that's what you really want. You want the water to come from the top and go all the way to the bottom with gravity, essentially. So who's this brewer for? I think this brewer is for essentially anybody. It's $17 or $20, just say $20. It's a plastic brewer. If you want to, you can put this on top after you pour out your water in order to keep the heat in, but I haven't really noticed that much with this particular brewer. But like I said, I think this brewer is for everybody. For the coffee geek, for the aspiring person who thinks that they want to go ahead and get to the whole pour over type of thing. This is a great brewer to go in because you can try all your different filters. You can go with different parameters and all that stuff. And then you can really start to enjoy the coffee at a coarser grind. And to me, it's a lot more tastier. One thing I do want to also mention with this brewer is that everything's plastic, okay? So that also means that if you have a recipe that's 200 degrees Fahrenheit, be mindful of that. Be mindful of how long it's actually going to take to actually draw down. So you may have to go with a higher temperature making your cup of coffee. So be mindful of that. So before we leave off, I want to make you a cup of coffee. This is probably what somebody who doesn't really care about the whole thing, precision and all that stuff, and how easy it is for them to make a cup of coffee, okay? So this is what somebody would do. They'll go to their cupboard. They may grab a cup. This water is already hot, 200 degrees. Put this on top and have some coffee. They don't measure, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's say they don't even the bed and they put this thing on top. And let's just say they may look at the line, they may not. They say, okay, I just want it to be strong. That's good enough. And then I'm just gonna wait and see what happens to my cup. I do like this brewer a lot more, as I said, to other brewers, just because sometimes when you have like the Cleaner Wave type of brewer, you have those ones that have like multiple holes. And again, it's not as even as you would think that it should be. But as you see, it looks pretty potent right now. So yeah, I really did enjoy my time with this brewer. It was fun, it was easy to use, and I like the fact that it let me know, at least for me, that I'm not really so much geared into the whole light roast, fine grind, fast filters. I like a slow drawdown. I like coffee to taste what it tastes like, right? I want it to be as coarse as I can get it. And this simply gets me there without really thinking about it. I can play around, I can geek out, I can have a lot of fun when it comes to actually brewing a cup of coffee. I think that's the cool thing about it. Is it more than a Harry V60? Yes. Is it more than other brewers that are like $10? Sure. Is it cheaper than like the porcelain and the glass brewers? Yes, it is. The cool thing about this, if you really want to go into the whole like Harry V60 and different pour overs, is that this will fit actually on a Harry V60 and other brewers. So here's the April brewer, which I need to clean a little bit. And here's the Harry V60, which is mostly clean. Our cup of coffee's done. We didn't measure anything. We just did it like everybody else. Just put this on top. You see it fits. Fits pretty well. This one fits perfect. So whoever at OXO was doing this, they're pretty genius about like making sure that you can start to really go down a rabbit hole if you want to, especially if you're just beginning. if you just don't want to kind of figure out things on your own. For refinish, again, like I said, I think that was about 25 grams. And you can see how the bed is not as even as it should be. An easy way to mitigate that, to solve that problem, is to put less coffee in there. Do 15 to 10 grams of coffee and you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and taste it and just see what it is. And this is a dark roast Ethiopian coffee. Cheers. Yeah, it works. That was relatively fine too, the grind on this. That's why it took a little bit longer than normal, but it works. And imagine if you made this for your significant other, or even for yourself if you're feeling a little lazy and you just wanted a cup of coffee. You didn't want to think about measuring anything. You can use this assist thing to help you out. Or you can just pour your water as you usually do and just wait for a couple minutes. Good to go. But again, the reason why I like it so much is two reasons. One, it's very versatile for family members, for people who are not really into coffee, but it's also beneficial for people who admire a coarser grind, a slower drawdown, to bring out the best in the coffee. Been a month and a half with the actual device and I've been loving it. At first I was a little apprehensive about it. So this is Oki at Everyday Beans. Let me know what you think about it. Do you have one of these? If you do, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Talk to you later. Bye.